Yeah, what's up? What's up?
Yeah.
We are live. Yo, you got to give me an echo gator next time. What's up? What's up, everybody? We are in the building. Today, we decided to do a little bit of a special, kind of a last minute live. Not really, but really, kind of a special occasion, a little bit of a throwback, a little bit of some new stuff coming up. We decided we got Demise in the building. They're going to be jumping on. We'll get into it in a couple minutes, but before that, what's going on, Busky? Good to see you. There's a lot going on in the universe.
Yeah.
Really
Really good, man. Today was a good day. I had a nice surprise this morning from my friend Hoya. I had a very nice surprise.
You can let people give a little taste of what the surprise was. You can let them know.
Okay. I got a couple tracks from the Smoke AD project. And I'm a spoiled boy, I have to say, to be able to hear these things up front before everybody else, because you guys are going to get smashed over the head with these tracks when they drop.
Thank you. Like I said, we're going to get into it we got a pre-order that's going to come up. We'll get into that a little bit later, but I had to bless you with that. I said, you know what? It's ready to be passed. I had to show somebody. It was itching. And I know we were, you saw kind of the behind the scenes, the building of the whole thing. So I wanted you to check out where it went, but we'll get into that later. But what's up on Long Island? What's up? What's the weather like? It's Saturday night. We said, let's go live at 5. You heard it here first. Demise is in the studio, right? We decided we're going to get him in. We said, let's make it happen. 5 is the magic number. We're going to be tapping in with them in a couple minutes, but we got a couple of things popping up before that. There's mad shows that we were just talking about behind the scenes. But before that, while we're talking about the whole Demise thing, everybody, we got you. They're dropping. They just dropped it, or did it drop already? Is it officially out or what?
It's officially out. I got my copy actually in the mail the other day. So, yep, there you go.
Listen, it is out. Generation. I know Generation Records got a lot to do it. Yo, what up, Gov?
Breaking too far. What up?
Listen, this right here, they just worked on it. We're going to get into the recording process, the songs, the whole thing. They just dropped this color vinyl. Vinyl's back. Look, it doesn't even matter if you got a record player. I don't, but I want it. Look at that thing. You can hang it up. You could grab it. You could, put, so many things to do with it, but it's dope. Generation, an OG spot. And again, putting out vinyl is also supporting not only small business, but the vinyl business, which happens to have to be, they're like, they're brothers and sisters of us. You know what I mean? Vinyl and the whole underground music scene. Without that, there's no survival. You know what I mean? Even now, as you know, a lot of bands still are able to make a little bit of income by putting out these cool pieces. So go check it out. We're going to talk about it. It's available now. Go get it. Everybody there's a bunch of different colors out. Yeah. I don't know who else put it out. Is it exclusive by Generation, right?
No, I think Revelation has a color. I know Generation. I'm not sure if anybody else does, but there's definitely a couple spots you can grab it from.
Yeah, but some OG shit. There's a couple of songs, and we'll talk about that when they jump on in a bit. But also, shout out to all you metalheads. Shout out to Jamie. Shout out to Haybreed. Look at Milwaukee Metal Fest is back. Again, we talked about it the other day. Look at, we're going to have to talk about it again. This thing is off the hook. They got the pre-party May 16th. Jasta and Friends, Toxic Ruin, and H1Z1. I don't even know how you say that. Look at, bottom line is this. Smoking Word TV will officially be in the building at Milwaukee Metal Fest. We will be there for the pre-party. We'll be there for a couple of days. We're setting up. We're going to be podcasting, broadcasting, whatever you call it. We're going to have Smoke AD caps in the building and Danny Diablo gear. And again, you know the deal. Smoke AD is officially in the building, and we're going out there to cover it for everybody and represent, because if you're into that metal shit, this is the spot to be. Yeah. Milwaukee is a hard pill to swallow, but if you got to go to Milwaukee, this is why you go. Busky, how many times we played this place?
Well, it's very very often, and it's very cool just to see this name again out there. You know, I think growing up, this was one of festivals weren't as massive as they are nowadays. You know, 20, 30 years ago. You know, they weren't as there weren't so many of them. One of the standout ones I remember coming up was Milwaukee Metal Fest, you know, and then it disappeared for a while. And then you know, our boy Jamie bought the name or whatever he had to do to resurrect this thing, and it's just great to see the name out there because it speaks to our generation. You know, we're sort of seniors now in the game, and this was, you know, this was a very early thing that I used to aspire to want to play. You know, like my first band's like, man, imagine if we could fucking play the Metal Fest. So shout out to Jamie for bringing this thing back, and shout out to all these bands for being a part of it, man. This is amazing.
I'm glad you said that because that's a good point. This was a big step for a lot of bands playing it. Yeah. And, you know, it still is. Obviously, look who you'd be playing with, like some of the greats. But back then, it was just, I got to play one of the early ones. I want to say maybe the Misfits did one of the versions of that one, but it was a long time ago. But it was a big deal. And I remember to get on, it was a big deal. To play, it was a big deal. And it always bugged me out that it was in Milwaukee, in the middle of nowhere. But, you know, again, it kind of makes sense now being around. That's where you kind of going to have these festivals in the middle of nowhere where kind of everybody can meet in the middle and make it happen for this. But anybody, whoever, if you never heard of this place, look it up. It got a very crazy history, this club. One day we got to do an episode just on that club because the club is haunted. Prince played there. There's a pool there. I don't know, a bunch of crazy things happen in that place, but it's a great venue. It's Jeffrey Dahmer ate a bunch of people across the street. Look at so many things. Scarhead played there, almost the same thing. You see how that works?
Do you remember a band from there, a local band called the Fluvium? No. You remember that by chance? I don't know. When I was in Terror, for some reason, these guys from Effluvium used to show up, and they loved Terror, and they had this band, and it was so bad it was good. You know, we used to listen to the demo, and like it almost sounded like a joke, but these dudes were for real. You know, so I don't know. I just remember I think of the venue, I think of Effluvium, I think of Jeffrey Dahmer across the street. You know, so Milwaukee Metal Fest, May 16th to the 19th. It's going to be a banger for sure.
Yeah, and like I said, we're going to be in the building for the pre-party, and we're going to be there for the weekend. You know, we're going to be covering it. We're going to be taking a lot of business and, you know, breaking bread with these metalheads, letting them know what time it is. But there's some bugged out people. The first night is metal. Like, if there's going to be a metal day of this, that's Milwaukee Metal Fest.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the pre-party, everybody, because who knows? You know, maybe we're gonna get the Mambo thing and Gators and do the Mambo thing, Milwaukee Metal style. But the pre-party, there's gonna be some cool shit, some cool what do you call it? Collabs and people jumping on and playing music and all that shit. But an OG band right there, Destruction. Whoever's gonna play that first Friday night, look at Destruction. They're a name that just stuck out to me because I remember them as a kid. The logo. The band, I want to say they were from Germany, but I might be wrong.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
You know, but I remember them being some of the OGs, and look, you got a mix of the metal from Heathen all the way up. I'm not familiar with Blind Guardian, and they're headlining that night. Tell me, what am I missing here?
I think that's kind of in the realm of Camelot and Symphony X, where it's that sort of God, what do you call that sort of metal? Very dramatic metal. You know what I mean? Symphonic metal, technical, but not like death metal, you know, just like these guys really know how to play arpeggios and maybe classical vibes. You know what I mean? Like very, I don't know what you call that kind of metal. Power metal, maybe? I have no idea, but very cool to see. And then, you know, Mr. Bungle on the second day is super cool headliner with Testament and Hatebreed. I see that there is actually a Soylent Green reunion going on Saturday too. So shout out to Soylent Green, New Orleans. And Sunday, Slaughter to Prevail. Very cool as a headliner. I also see this Death to All.
So I was gonna say, like, that first night is like, I think for the die, like, I mean, it's all a die hard fest. Yeah. But that first night that's like straight up. It's gonna be not a white t-shirt in sight, guaranteed. That's gonna be black and a lot of devil. Now on the Saturday, you're gonna have a little bit of mix. You're gonna have a lot of hate mixed in with a little bit of devil stuff and also a lot of beer. We got Municipal Waste. Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing them. They're on tour right now, and I don't know, that shit look extra fun. I mean, they always had a great tour and were a great band, but they're looking extra fun nowadays. And Hatebreed, of course, looking forward to seeing them. I want to see the OG's Testament. You know, I'm curious now, paying attention to all the OG bands, getting a chance to see them. Now I could sit and listen with old ears and kind of, you know, tune in and listen to, you know, I'm curious and excited.
I got to say, Testament, man, they're one of those bands that's gotten better and harder and heavier over the years. You know, those last couple records are just smokers. They're so good, and they've gotten heavier. They've gotten harder, and Chuck Billy's voice and vocals are just unbelievable. So if you've never seen Testament, definitely catch them. You're going to love them.
Let me ask you about Mr. Bungle. I played with him once somewhere. All I know is they got my favorite drummer, Dave Lombardo, but what the hell do they sound like?
Yeah, I don't know. Not my thing, man. I got to be honest with you. As much as I respect it, it's not really. It goes over my head.
Right, fuck respect right now. What does it sound like? Because the name bugs me out, and
I think it's just experimental. Mike Patton, Faith No More singer, you know, so it's a little bit out there. It's got some weird parts. I think it's got heavy parts, but it's also just got some weird eclectic metal sort of stuff, you know, just Faith No More, but even crazier and weirder. I don't know. I've never really gotten too far into it, so I could be completely wrong. But I don't know. I'm also a guy that, like, I don't like this. I have a hard time liking bands that have weird names. And Mr. Bungle is just one of those. I can't be like, oh, I love Mr. Bungle.
Real. I'll keep it real. I love Lombardo. That name sucks.
Yeah, so that's a tough pill for me to swallow too. If your name is a little weird, I'm gonna have a hard time getting behind it.
Listen, you know, I'll admit, you know, not all of our former bands were like the best thing, but at first when you hear them, you know, but then later they become something. So that always sounded like Mr. Bungle.
Yeah, that was a tough one for me.
I know that was really weird, but look, shout out to Cuba Libre and Lombardo. I'm looking for Slaughter to Prevail. I'm not sure if I'll be there. I think I'm leaving soon. Listen, Frankie Samara in the building. You already know the deal. In Flames is that Sunday. I'm looking forward to Slaughter to Prevail. I'm hoping to catch them, but Milwaukee Metal Fest. You know, what you want me to tell you, man? Go, everybody. Smoking Word will be in the building. Go tap in. Shout out to Frankie Samara out there. The guy who I taught how to play bass, despite what he might tell you. Shout out to Frankie and everybody out there. But everybody, I think we got them in the building. Let's bring them in. Everybody. Let's bring in. They're hot from the studio session. I don't know where they're at, but they're coming in what you call it, Tiguerito style / freaking Jibaro style. We got Demise live from the studio in the building.
Oh. We got a hot spot. Jibaro style. And we got a
and we hear the vocals. What's up? Put the camera down a little bit more. I want to see a little bit more of you. There you go. I can see. There we
go. Like what a hammer to your skull.
Now, Cheeky. Now your head's out of the mix.
There we go. There he is. What up?
We got them. They were jumping in the studio. We figured we'd get them on because they just dropped the EP, 2 songs. We'll talk about that. But first of all, me and Busky were talking before anything. Where is the fucking studio located at?
Brooklyn, Bushwick.
Oh, you're in Brooklyn. We don't want to give the secret location away, but in Brooklyn. Is it in the old Brooklyn secret location that we used to go to?
Oh, no. But it ain't far, though. It
ain't far.
It was close to the spot before you started smoking weed.
No, I'll tell you this. No matter what, do not have Cheeky email you anything. That shit goes to the Bermuda Triangle. Listen. He goes, I'm emailing you something. I go, all right. And then I text Beto, yo, send me this shit.
I saw him trying to do it. I thought he was trying to send you his OnlyFans video.
No, but Cheeky, for a singer, I gotta say he's on point. He's connecting the dots of people. Usually the singers, you know how that is. You gotta go find them.
That's true.
Beta, where you at? I don't see your head.
Beta, get your head in. What's up?
Yeah, you gotta get in front of Cheeky, kind of. Yeah, there you go,
shit.
Cheeky. Move a
Where
little
is he?
bit.
Get in the middle there.
Yeah,
there you go.
Where you at? Get in. Listen, show the EP. Show the EP. Let people know so they could go buy that. Frankie Too Far, what's up in the building? Listen, get it in. And we saw that Steven, you guys got Steven to redraw that, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, man.
Boom.
So those two songs, real quick, talk about those two songs. Are they new songs? Are they old songs? Where these songs come from? 19, what? Was it an old song? Would you bring them back? Talk about those songs.
From 1990, maybe, right?
1990, okay.
Yeah, probably 1990 or some shit like that.
I know
let me ask you this.
Song with us.
Because I was telling Busky that some of those early recordings that we had, some of them were wild style. So I was curious when you had to translate them if you got everything all right. Because I don't remember a lot of shit. Because I remember we had a lot of different versions of tapes, live recordings. And at the time, the live recordings sounded cool, but now they're noisy when you got to try to learn them.
Yeah. It was we first got down with that YouTube video of Calm Before the Storm, but we opened it up, and then that's where we were like, oh shit, yeah. Like, so I put it down digitally, and it was hard to listen to, but at least you could hear all the parts, like what was going on.
Did you rewrite any of the song, the music? Was it all from those original versions, or did you rewrite them and modernize it at all?
There was two versions. There was a version on a 2-track with Richie that didn't have the solo part. That it was before Laszlo was in the band. Remember, Hoya? So it was either use that or use the version that we played at CB. So we went with the version that we played at CB. The only thing that we changed was the solo. That was it.
Okay.
And when you had to relearn that shit, did you pick it the same or you picked it different, right?
I want to, in my fantasy world, I want to think I pick it the same.
Because I don't remember how that shit was. We were thinking about how we play the songs. I wasn't so much thinking even, we were thinking about just, making sure who was louder kind of shit. I hear myself, so not like nitpicking the shit. And let me ask you this: how you went about picking those two songs? Which songs? Like what you said? Like what made you pick those songs?
That was Generation Records. Pick the song. What made me pick the songs? Those two songs specifically stayed in my head all these years. So it's like 30 years. Like I was like, those songs. I wish we put them down when we did that demo in Jersey. And so when we started hanging out, I was like, yo, those two songs we got to throw down. And that's the first one we were fucking with. And when we started having versions of it, we're like, yo, these tunes are just as great as I remember. Those were
business.
Those were the last two tracks when we started transitioning from Richie to Jonathan.
Yeah, that's what it was. Those were the last ones. And that's what I was gonna say. What bugged me out about John. So after we broke up and everybody went their way, I didn't see you for a long time. And then I hear, I'm hearing about Roger and his bands because he always has 1,000 bands or whatever. And then years later, I hear something. Oh, I see you. Somebody says, oh, whatever, Johnny played with you with Roger. I said, what? I go, play with Roger? And they're like, yeah, Johnny plays with Roger. And then he answers, I go, what? I never even put it together. Like, how? I was like, I thought you were just like missing in action or whatever, like, And then they're like, no. I was like, you were playing this whole time, like, right, basically in front of us.
Yeah. And then I saw you somewhere. You were playing with Madball, and we saw you on tour somewhere. I was playing with Roger.
I put it together because I remember, like, it took me a while. I bugged out. I was like, yo, how did that happen? Because the last show, if you guys remember, well, I don't know if it was the last, but that Long Island show, we played a show in Long Island, and Cheeky broke his finger, right? Cheeky broke his finger that day. But that day, which bugged me out about that day was Neglect played, which Johnny ended up playing with us, right? We were together. AF played, Madball played. I wasn't in I wasn't in Madball yet, but Madball played, Marauder played. It was crazy. And I remember, like, when I thought about it after, I was like, yo, we all got in the same band. Like everybody there ended up playing in a band.
They took a shot.
But why I remember that show, I remember Cheeky jumped in the crowd and then I couldn't hear and he's doing some shit with his hands. And I'm like, what? Like, fuck, and his pinky was pointing that way.
That was I dove at the end of the show and then I came back and Jerry's like, yo, that shit was fucking dope. Do it again. I did it again. That's what broke my finger.
Lessons of life, you know the deal. Yeah, back. Yo, and that show I remember because everybody, we ended up playing together. I remember you with the pinky, and I remember doing Zero the Hero. You know, I think we did it that day too. That was another
Sabbath song.
Yeah, we used to do that.
Wow, you did. Nice.
Yeah,
mine's got a version of it. It's awesome.
Yeah, and what happened?
You'll hear it again, Busky.
We're rocking it again.
Yeah.
Oh, are you good? Hell
yeah.
Yeah.
They did it. I know they did. I was gonna say, how about learning? When you guys played the show, we got one video. We're gonna play it later. You sent me. We know you guys posted one song. When you guys played recently, how many songs you played?
Seven.
Yeah.
Oh shit, you did a lot of songs.
A lot of work, man. Demasiado trabajo.
Yeah. And how long you were jamming? You had all right from saying okay, we're gonna do this shit to that first show. How long were you jamming and said, okay, we're gonna do this and we're gonna jam these songs? Like if you took it and broke it in months, even scattered. Obviously, you got together, but like, okay, we're gonna get together. We're gonna do this song. Now we're gonna do this show. We gotta get 8 songs ready, a set ready.
Was that 4 or 5 months? December, something like that.
So you started, you had the idea. And when you did it though, you said we're gonna do it to do a show, or you were like, yo, let's just jam.
We just jammed, and then we jammed twice. And then the second time we jammed, I recorded it. And then when we listened back, we had already kind of had Calm Before the Storm and Beneath the Cloak kind of tight. And when I recorded it, I was like, yo, let's just finish this. And that's what we did.
Yeah.
Perfect. And is there other songs? Is there new songs? Is there other old songs that you were jamming on that you plan on releasing, or?
Some of that going on. There might be some old songs we might bring back. We might write some new shit too.
He got some ideas.
Good.
Some
good.
Stuff to throw out there. We got some stuff brewing.
And Jakey, and back then, obviously, you know, we would write to a song like, okay, we're trying to write a song. All right, go write lyrics because we're trying to write a song.
Yeah.
Now that you know, okay, we're gonna write a song. Are you writing it to music, or are you writing shit on the side? Because some people write on their own and then fit it in, and some people need the music.
Yeah, you will. Back then, I was always writing shit on my own, fucking whatever it was. If it was freaking poetry, if it was lyrics, just freaking some bullshit, whatever the hell it was. Now it's like, I don't have time for that shit. I'm looking at a phone all day, right? Yeah. I'm just looking at a phone, scrolling shit like everybody else, doom scrolling. So it's like I got to go ahead and set aside whatever it is if I'm going to go ahead and write stuff. I get some sort of inspiration. Hopefully I have something to write with. I write it down, move it to the side. I'll go ahead and use technology, put some fucking notes in the fucking phone as well, and hope for the best. Right?
Technology. Listen, we're gonna start with email. Me and you. We're gonna get.
We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out. It's like once you give me the right email, then we'll be fine.
You know what he said? He goes, he sent it back. It's horror. He sent me some shit in Sanskrit. I was like, because that's not it. Yeah, that shit was like in Korean. Yeah, I had to call Warren to come translate it. He goes, yo, that shit's in
Shit was
and what I was gonna say, and now, so how far, Beto? I know you're in Jersey. You guys in Brooklyn. Cheeky, where you at now?
I'm back in the Heights. I'm back in the Heights.
You're in the Heights.
Yeah.
You're back in the Heights.
I'm in Queens.
And now introduce on bass. Introduce. Yeah. Come on, you got it. Listen, bass.
That's not Hoya.
That old school. Oh, the bass plays the choir guy in the back. Fuck that. I changed that shit. We gotta have a big.
Get it, Gio. This is Gio. Gio been in.
I know you've been playing for a while, but let everybody know what's up. What's your name and who's your leader and where do you come from?
It's your leader.
Busky knows me. I used to play in Step Too Far with Frank.
Yeah, no, for sure. We were talking. Yep.
Yeah, since the 90s. And I also play with Sean Finley and Examine.
Yeah, that's what we were just talking about that before. Like we know, but we have to let the people know, you know? Let them know. And how did you get in the mix? How did it happen? Who got in touch with you? Oh, all right. So how did it happen? So you're like, okay, all right. Now, what made you decide this would probably go to the band? Obviously, to record, you don't need a bass player, right? You could have like Beto play or whatever. But you said before you recorded, you had the idea of playing out already. Then
we had the idea. We had the idea of playing out. We talked to you. We talked to you about playing out too. Yeah. But you got your smoke.
You're right. I'm only playing with myself right now. That's it. I won't cry. It's right here. But when you went to record, like, all right, you're gonna do it. You went in with the thinking, hey, we probably do a couple shows, maybe, right? Or you just said, let's record it. Because to get a bass player, like I'm saying, like, I mean, not that it obviously you your homeboy, maybe you didn't have to look for it, but you didn't have to get one unless if you just wanted to record, you could have said, Beto, record the bass, I like always a separate hand doing it also. You know what I mean? But I was just curious if you guys went into it already saying, look, we want a bass player's feel and not just Beto recording everything.
No, I think it was after. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
After. Yeah. Then we were like, oh, we got the record and
yeah. Well, that's good because exactly, because like I said, Beto, you could have recorded, tracked everything, but it's more organic with a full band. You know what I mean? Like,
we were hoping we could kidnap you at first, and when we realized security was too tight, we had to hire somebody.
This ain't just from the gym. Okay? This ain't just from the gym. Listen, no shame about same sex over here. Listen, Aloe Vera needs to sponsor my look at them things.
I know.
My shit look like Freddy Krueger. My shit look like a turtleneck with fucking Freddy Krueger. But and now let me. This is what I'm curious, but also it's something that because now putting out my own shit and it's good for everybody to know like the steps and what it takes to put something out. Obviously, a little bit of a being a band that has history, it's a little bit of a jump start coming back into the mix. But still, you got to go through the steps.
Yeah, for sure.
Now you said, okay, we got the band together, right? Obviously, there's people around, whatever. Now you say we want to put something out, or did you get the offer first to put something out?
Because my boy Mark Yosha told me he runs.
Shout out to Mark. I know him for a long time. He was good friends with my brother.
So Mark is awesome. He's an old friend of mine. He used to play in the craze with me in the band. And so when I told him that I was getting together, these guys, we were jamming and we started messing around with these songs that I had always wanted to record. He was like, yo, if you record it, I'll put it out. He's like, I'll put it out.
Perfect.
Sight unseen, he was like, I'll put it out. Then
when a perfect place. So like they are the spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
it's awesome.
Great. Absolutely wonderful, man.
So it's like like a brother, putting it out. Like we had no doubts. Like we know.
Yeah. No, but it was perfect. He's done everybody like how he's done everybody. Like that's like that's like the only real. I don't want to say the only real label, but like that storefront. That's a whole lot of people that's still doing shit that they don't need to do, but doing it because they're part of it. You know what I mean? Like Bleecker Bob's. Exactly. I wasn't a full Bleecker Bob's hater. Like fuck him. But in reality, without them, we wouldn't have never got records. Besides numbers in there, like I don't care. Whatever. He was robbing bands, but I was able to also. I would buy some of that shit. I'll be like, oh, what's this experience? Now we play in bands. Now you understand it, but it's like we weren't. You're looking for music. We want to support. We don't know where to support. Go to the record store.
He did sell demos and shit too, though, which is cool. Bleecker Bob's, I bought a bunch of demos from there,
No, listen, Demise. That was the first time we saw any traction. I remember we would run demos, and I remember dropping off a bunch, and then the guy goes, "Yo, bring more," and we were like, "Really? Like people bought them? Like?" And it was dope.
They like dope.
You're selling records before records. You're getting the whole. All right, we record them, we jam, we record them. We folded the paper. We put it. We had to go to the fucking place. We had to talk to the guy. Yo, you want to buy us this fucking demo? And then, okay, we'll come back in 2 weeks. If you sell anything, you pay it. There's a lot of stuff to do with this. And we did that all the time. And it's funny that I remember they got it around. And years later, I ran into some of those demos. Recently, so a homeboy in Japan, same thing. A good distro out there. We're gonna be, he's gonna be doing some stuff with us also. Nice. Same thing. He said, "Look what I got," and I'm looking at my handwriting from him. I'm like, "Fucking years old." But bugged out. Same thing. They came from that. It was either that or when we walked up the line, I would walk up and down the line of CB's. $5, 5 souls, $5. The hardest shit. That was my punchline. You know what I mean?
How many of those demos did you guys make back then? Any idea? Any estimates, or do you know exactly?
What do you think, Hoy?
Hundreds, couple hundreds.
I would like to think a couple hundred.
Yeah,
I would like to think, because I remember running a lot at one point. And 10 is a lot, but not. You know what I mean? Something in tens. You know what I mean? It's a lot of work. But I remember doing beta. You remember we would run tapes, 2 tape recorders, and be up all night, and then have to go to school.
And from what I remember, it was two different versions, the first and second demo. I don't think we did a third version.
Yeah, and I remember shout out to Andy. You remember Andy who did the first layout? I just thank God for Instagram. I've been talking with him. You remember Andy Jeers boy who he did the first demo covers for us. Check this out, because he worked at a company where they had a Xerox machine.
Yeah,
he was able to sneak Xerox copies, and we laid them out so we could cut them out and fold them and do the tape. But to this day, I hit him up. I go, Andy, I never forgot you. It was because of you. We had a demo, and it looked professional. Steve drew it, and it was laid out real, pretty crazy.
I got a question real quick on the second demo. Was there 2 versions with Cheeky, you singing, and then another version with another singer, a different singer? Was it just?
That's me. That's me.
Okay.
It was just the difference of
alive.
Maybe a couple of maybe a month. It's a difference of recording at Don Fury's and recording at Wildfire might have been the difference. Well,
a real studio, Busky, like we were talking about before, going from the 2-track live that had its pluses, that room to get your taste of being in a real studio and getting a 2-track live recording. But when we went to that was our first real experience. Some guy who had nothing to do with he didn't want to do no heavy shit, but listening to tuning. Play slow. What are you playing? This is too noisy. He's the first guy that really Don would be press record and shit, smoke a cigarette, and he drink his wine. He'd be just fix the guitar. He'll be like, yeah, that's good. And he'd go back up with his wine and shit. Yeah, I'm out.
I think somewhere in there, in that transition where my voice changed, I think my balls dropped in. That's what happened. Puberty.
You know why they call him Cheeky? They were still little then. Cheeky means little for you gringos out there. Cheeky means he was cheeky, and then he's Chicong. He became Chicong. But it was a big difference sonically going into a real studio. You know what I mean? We were able to hear anything we were playing wrong, and also obviously how prepared we might have thought we were and how we weren't. We were the most prepared we've ever been, but I think that was also it was a wake up call. Also, kind of new to us, kind of oh, shit.
What also is the thing. Also, it's when before the transition, when we got to Johnny, and then we're in Johnny's basement, and we're in fucking Johnny's basement every fucking day. And that's when we got tight. Everything. That's when we changed our mind. And just because of that convenience, that changed our side completely.
And again, like I was telling Busky, and by the way, so people know how we got Johnny, we needed a drummer, and Saab, rest in peace, Saab goes, yo, I got somebody for you. I got this kid. He's 16 years old, or whatever you were, 15. He was another Freddie style, a young kid. But he goes, and he kills double bass. And we're like, okay, boom. And he got a studio. So we're like, perfect. So he had a little setup in his room, a little wild style. I remember the setup, crazy, you know, but he went in and it was double bass. He understood it. And we were always trying to do the metal shit. And Richie had the heart, and he was like a driving force early, but unfortunately his legs and his hands couldn't do what we wanted to do for the song. They were too crazy. He was too wild style. But you know what I mean? But he was a guy that put us onto a lot of the crossover shit. You know, it was Richie. I gotta give him. He would always be like, I got the new shit. Check this out. Check this out. Remember Richie? Always. INC, check this out. I remember these certain bands because he would be like, yo, the groove shit. Like, we were like, that's the shit we like. And he was one of those. I got that bug from him of looking for the new shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. But he was always a wild style drummer. And we connect. And we always knew we wanted to play more metallic, but we didn't know how to play there. And when we finally got to learn how to play there, he wasn't at the same place we were. You know what I mean? And he was already kind of falling off, you know. And we had Jeer before. You remember when Cheeky? You remember that day? I remember that day when you started kind of semi-officially singing for us.
That was like I rolled up and Jeer. We're still waiting on Jeer, and it's just like, all right, I'll start singing.
Yeah. Didn't you do backup still prior? Like you were on the recordings prior, right?
He was hanging out.
I was always there.
Right,
there from the get-go. Always there.
Right.
Yeah, so we were always hanging out, but not later. But check this out. So later on, I learned the politics of shit because now I think about it later. Now I see why. Now, okay, now let's let people know something. Now, Cheeky was already, you know, and they always try to get bands, the guys. So Cheeky already wanted to sing, or you might have sang already, right? For a couple of trying to already, right?
Singing,
like, you know, for these guys all had like everybody had a made up band. Like, he had the. I know,
and that was it.
But I know he had the urge to want to sing, right? So I knew it was in the mist. And then Jeer was a guy when we started rehearsing. He wasn't showing up on time. He wasn't kicking up money, and Cheeky was hanging out. Then Cheeky was like, "Yo, get on and sing while we're playing." You know, hey, go sing. So he's singing the song, and Jeer walks in.
Oh shit! She
sees this nigga singing, and I remember being like, at the hint or some shit. I don't remember the full. I want to say he walked out, and then, but and I love Jeer, whatever. And he was a great singer. He had a great voice, but he just didn't want to be there. Like, he was, you know, I think he just didn't want to be there. Like, you know, he was already like, I guess, you know, on his next phase and shit in life, you know. But I always remember that shit. I was like, I guess, Cheeky, you want to sing? And then I guess he became the singer.
Worked out well for you, Cheeky.
Yeah, right. And
Cheeky, tonight.
Oh, you're breaking up. What you said?
I was trying to get Jeer to come tonight.
Oh,
yeah. You gotta tell him what's up. Jeer was great because Jeer was like 90 pounds, but he sounded like Jeff Breakdown, kind of like, you know, he had like a big voice. You know what I mean? And Cheeky, what you were doing when the band out? Did I see something? Or am I bugging that I saw you doing some opera or some play shit?
I was probably doing some Louis Prima covers. I was playing with the band, a nice big jazz band. We're doing some Louis Prima, Is You Ain't My Baby. Doing all that shit, bro.
All right, so I don't know who Louis. Who's his name? Louis? What's his name? Louis Vuitton. I don't know who he is. I thought he maybe
Louis Prima from New Orleans, a jazz fucking trumpeter from New Orleans, and he's got some great music, and we you know, it's like I probably did a band. It was probably about like 10 years ago. It was like the last time we got together, and we're trying to get back together just to
Cheeky,
have fun.
Kenneth Martinez, your next door neighbor from Rego Park here. What up?
Hey,
you got fans, Cheeky. You got fans.
Yo, could you bring some sugar? Go upstairs and give us some sugar.
Kenny just dropped Purge of Relics, dude. He's got some fucking crazy metalcore fucking crazy shit, bro. Mad fucking ups to Kenny. I heard his fucking latest track, dude. Check it out on what is that? Bandcamp, freaking one of them things.
Hell yeah. And let me ask you this, all right? So Mark Generation, he comes, hey, let's do these songs. Is it a thing like you say, let's just do 2 songs? You wanted to do 2? What made you do 2 and not 1 and not 4? Was it like a preference thing or?
Yeah, those 2 songs, like I said, always stayed in my mind. Always, but we never really had a version of it like with me in the band. You had some demos earlier, but they were different, And I don't know, I just always wanted to hear them done, So when we got in, we raced right to jamming those 2 songs until like the second jam, I did a live recording of it, and I was like, yo, this is already sounds fat. We should just finish this, just do some vocals and guitar over it and finish it and just see what we got. If it's dope, it's cool. If not, and it came out awesome. So then after that, I told Yoshi, we actually, we recorded him. You want to listen? And he listened to it. He was like, let's do it.
Yeah. That's dope.
They do sound great. And I actually listened to it earlier, the 7-inch, and then I have MP3s of the unreleased versions, the original versions. Yeah. So I sort of A-B'd it, like the old version to the new version, and the new version's great. I just, obviously, everyone's more mature. Everyone's a much better player. Production, obviously, is a step up. So it's I'm sure you're all extremely excited to have old versions or new versions of old songs out. And it's a great step up for the band, you know what I mean? Because it sounds like the way it should have probably. You guys wanted it to sound 20 years ago, So congratulations to you, everybody, because it really is. It's a good release and it's a good look for the band. Yeah.
And at the right time. And Harry, shout out to Harry Minas. He says, was Trapped in the Tomb the second demo? He remembered 3 tracks, he thinks, Don Fury sessions. I don't remember. I lost track on that, but I know we did a bunch of sessions with Cheeky.
True. Yeah, was the 3.
It was 3. It was Trapped in the Tomb, From Reality,
Short End of the Stick.
Short End of the Stick.
Wait a minute. That's it.
Yeah, so wait a minute. That's Trap.
That was the second version of the demo.
Did you record those with us?
No.
That was Richie.
That's Richie.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Those old versions of Beneath the Cloak and Common for Some is Richie also. That's why they have a lot different sound as well, because
a lot different. Yeah. That was a lot different.
I'm more hyped up. More hyped up.
I love you, Richie. Wow. No, but I remember he was wild. He was a wild drummer, Busky. Richie was. It was like he was moshing behind the set.
I saw you guys play in Crazy Country Club when I was younger, before I joined the band. And I remember thinking the music all right, but that drum was just like it was just
like Animal from the Muppets.
Oh yeah,
he was wild out.
He was insane.
Going all over the place,
and Beto. I mean, Beto, you always play. You've played, and wasn't your son playing guitar for a minute with you guys too? Didn't he jump in?
Yeah, we're still going over tracks. He's got strep throat, so he's home now. But he's gonna be. No, he got it. You got to tell her, yo, keep his own to himself. Don't be passing it. No, but say it again, Cheeky. You cut out.
I said I was going to start throwing elbows at Caden. That's all.
And I was going to, Beto, how did that come up with your son? Obviously he plays guitar. And but what made you say, hey, fuck it, you want to jump on? I mean, I know why I would. If my son gave a fuck, I he would be playing with me too, but he don't give a fuck. So
originally I called Steve Pettit, but Steve couldn't do it. Like there's something going on with him. He had an accident or something. But my son was always a fan. Like, he loves Demise. So I'm like, I mean, he lives with me, of course. And I'm like, yo, what's better than to have 2 guitarists that live with each other, father and son? I'm like, it can't get much tighter than that, And, it's right up his alley. He loves the style,
Yeah.
And,
I mean,
honestly, he practices more than I do. So.
No, for sure. No, because I saw that I was bugged out, and it's like it's crazy. Now he's big enough to be able to like to do it and not be like, he don't look like a little kid. Like, you know what I mean? He's like, a young man. So I don't look crazy. It's like you forget. And like I know he had his own band and shit, and then I was like, of course he could play this shit. You know what I mean? But it was like
he's probably the same age you were when you were doing Demise. This is probably the age you were.
Hold on, he's going to be 18. So you figure,
wow.
We started Demise. We were what, 16? Me and you, boy?
Yeah, some shit. Like 16 years old. Yeah, Ken.
Full
Yeah,
circle.
you know what's up. Kenneth, you know what's up. And that's bugged out, and that's dope. But to have, we always like the two guitar play and all that shit anyway. And now let me ask you this. Now you go into the studio. Where you recorded at? I know Johnny, you had something to do with the recording, correct?
Yeah. So we have a rehearsal space, but we have it like mic'd up, always ready to go. Like all the drums are, the amps. So that's how that started. And then so when we did some of the overdubs, the vocals and bass, and then after that, I played in a band for a while with Taras from All Out War, and
Nice.
We've done some tracks together. So I know how how he mixes and all that. So I just figured, I did the recording, but I was like, I want to throw it to him in, another ear. And I know he's got it right now. He's been working a lot in the studio, and he threw it back to us like fast, like a couple of days, and it was almost perfect. We're like, yeah, that's what we want.
What was the name of the band you did with him?
It was called Bastard Clan, and it was a little more like a mix of like thrash and punk. It's like I call it thrash punk. I guess
Gotta look that up.
Yeah, that's the Clan.
Yeah, no, because I seen it, and I seen you having to do with stuff, and so I know you had something to do with it. And not what you did everything. What setup you use? Do you use like GarageBand or Pro Tools or whatever they use?
I did it on Pro Tools.
Pro Tools set.
Yeah.
Now the reason why I'm bringing it up, you guys. I mean, Beto probably recorded Cheeky. I don't know what you've done since then, but recording changed, right? The way you go about, like how you could fly vocals in. Like back then, we couldn't do none of that, So I wasn't sure if you caught any of that progression, Cheeky, because you were kind of out of the mix from. I know you were singing, but not being like, you were kind of doing, live band stuff, not so much studio shit.
Yeah, it's like, and this was, when I was in the fringes, going to school and all that, I was doing a lot of broadcast journalism, a lot of mass media. So it was like seeing Final Cut Pro or an editing software like that.
Okay.
It's basically the same shit, just fucking clip it in, fucking put it in. When I did the recording for Giannis with Frankie, that's we did it on GarageBand in the freaking white in a fucking shack in Whitestone, right? So
Amazing.
I was like, I saw it then. I was like, oh, it could be done anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. I just know that these guys were doing music, and I know it changed. And like to come into music now, like when you find out, run through it a couple of times. Oh, we got it. That kind of shit. I still bug out to that.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a second. How old do you think I am? You think I'm freaking splicing tape and shit? And fucking
Yeah, right.
Into the email thing again.
Real.
I'm still waiting for the pigeon to arrive with the answer. At what time you guys are gonna fucking tune in?
But when we record, we still do it. Me personally, I still do it like mic up an amp and all that. I don't do like that, like reamp and all that shit.
Yeah.
Mic it up, found what we wanted to sound like and do it. So it's a little half and half. I'm old enough.
Yeah. No, for sure. No, but it's crazy because I know through the years you've played and I know you play guitar. You've done kind of everything.
Yeah.
So I know you're in the production side.
Yeah,
Beto, I know, was around, even if he wasn't, his son was. So I know there was studio shit going around in the house. Cheeky, I know, was doing music, but I saw him doing like that live acapella. I wasn't sure if he was getting in the studio. And I'm like,
There's some borracho music. Shit.
he was doing like, I saw him doing like a Brent the play or some shit, and I was like, oh,
Wicked.
I go, yo, isn't he supposed to be blue? He's doing yeah. All right, but no, Cheeky, obviously, you sang in other bands like throughout this thing or whatever. now going in doing these songs, how did you feel going in? And now you got to yell a bunch of times. You know, now it's different because I don't care. You know, this shit yell. You know, we see guys that have done it for years blow their voices.
Different. No, it's absolutely different. It's, you know, it's not the same thing when you're 20 and you don't give a fuck and, you know, you just keep on going to the next day and you go ahead and drink whatever it is or smoke whatever it is and you wake up and do it again. No, it's fucking different now. It's fucking different now.
So what about live? How did it feel when you guys got back on stage? How did it feel playing together with that energy? You know, it's different being in a rehearsal room compared to being on a stage. So how did it feel getting back on stage and you know, playing those songs?
Dude, it was an experience.
He couldn't breathe too well, I think, after a couple songs.
Wasn't after the first song, man. Once the second song started, that was rough. But then after that, I was fine.
Yeah.
But it was that second song where it was a little rough. I was just like, I wasn't sure if I could make it.
Gotta get your cardio up.
Yeah, that's when you learn. Like, you know, back in the day, we had a handful of shows, so we'd walk off the street and on the stage. Then when you do that every night, you start learning why I feel like shit one song into, and you're like, wait a minute, I gotta chill out. I can't eat 5 hours before I play. I gotta move an hour before I play. You know, all this stupid shit. Getting old sucks.
Yeah. Like, forget about even drinking like the night before.
Oh yeah, that's a wrap.
I'm not drinking till like after it is probably gonna be like 1 just to go to sleep.
I just got in the studio with Ezek, so I had that motherfucker. I had an ankle bracelet and had him fucking handcuffed to a radiator. I said, you know how that shit goes. Shout out to E. But yeah, no, and it's cool. So you did this, and how long did you take on those songs? Like, all right, you say we're gonna put these songs out. You guys say, okay, we're gonna get in and work on these songs. Like, how long did you take recording it, putting it together?
It was super fast because like we had a jam, then the second jam, I just hit the record, you know, and we got the basic tracks there, like jamming, and then the third time we went, I showed him what it sounds like, and I was like, yo, let's finish this, and so we finished it that third session. And
wow, really?
Yeah, we just ran into it. We're like, fuck it.
Yeah.
You know? I think it sounds.
That's
good.
probably a good way to approach it. I feel like it's organic. You don't overthink anything, and you shoot from the hip. You know, you go with what feels right and what your hand is producing, and you know all of that. So I'm sure it came out more organic that way.
Yeah, I mean the songs. You know, we knew them before, even though we had to kind of relearn a bit. You know, they were in us, and so I thought it was best to just run it like that. You know, don't overthink it. And then you know, just the recording sounded good, and I was like, but you know, let me give it a test, and it's come back good. And I mean, we didn't even have to nitpick them, you know, with the mix. Like we just like, yo, vocals on this part a little higher and some reverb, boom, you know, and we were done. So
it was quick.
And then I just gave it to Mark. Yo, it's done.
Yeah, it sounds great. And are those songs going to end up digital anywhere? Are they going to end Spotify or digital somewhere?
Yeah, we were just letting Mark, you know, like sell the vinyl a bit, you know, like beforehand. And then we'll put it up for stream.
We just got our hands on the vinyl today.
Yeah.
Go. Show the vinyl again and where everybody could get it. Let people know right now where they could get it at, because it's important. Because you know what, vinyl it's popping right now in general.
Yeah. So you can do it on generationrecords.com. You can do it on
Revelation HQ.
Revelation.
Well.
Yep.
We also have Cortex.
And in Europe, Cortex.
Yeah, shout out to all of them, because that's the trifecta. Shout out to, and also Blackout Records that I'm gonna be working. We got something with all those same people, and it's family business, and it's dope that these guys are, you know, it shows you that these guys are still involved in every level of the music. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Still family. It still feel, you know, like they came to the Mark and Vinny from Generation. They came to the show.
Exactly. The Rev, Generation, all these guys are hand in hand, and it's great because well, you know, to be able to do music this late of the game without committing to going on tour fucking 10 years, you know, it's hard to get any backup or any people to just push your shit. But we have people that were around when we were fans, also peers, and also whatever. Now they're in these positions of power.
Exactly.
Where like that, where there's a Mark, where there's a Bill Wilson, where there's the Revelation guys and all that and whatever. Exactly. Now you recorded those 2 songs. what's the next recording? Now you got the studio. You say, okay, you're going to record again in the same spot. You say, okay, we're going to do another recording here. Is there a plan for obviously writing more songs, but a specific recording for like an EP, an album, or another couple singles? Is there a plan? You haven't fucking.
We have a plan. We're gonna do a release. We're trying to figure out what jams are, but it's gonna involve Zero the Hero. And Zero the Hero is going to definitely be part of that release. So it's going to be a cover of Zero the Hero. Hopefully, get it out and in front of everybody's ears before the B&B Bowl.
Oh, so you want to put out another single, is what you're saying, before B&B?
Something like that.
Right, yeah. That's what we're hoping to do. We're just going to go ahead and just drop it off on streaming, for streaming purposes.
Throw it up there, yeah.
A little spring EP, right? That's a little spring cleaning EP for us. That's what
and then all right. So basically, what you want to get into the next recording objective is getting in, doing Zero the Hero, and and dropping it for the B&B, right?
Yeah.
And like Busky, going back to what Busky said to the first show back. So Johnny, you've been playing. So obviously, it's bugged out to be playing this a new thing, but you kind of had your foot in it. Beto, a little bit. What about you? Were you playing when you got the call from Johnny? We need you on. What were you doing? Did you even have your bass out? Were you still playing? Like,
I'm always busy. Yeah, I'm playing with Examine. I'm still playing with Examine. I'm playing with also Taras from All Out War. We have a project going on.
That's all these guys. I said, what's up with All Out War guys? I love those guys. Great dudes.
And there's a new Examine record out too, right? Didn't that a new record just came out?
It just came out. Yeah, those songs are a little bit old, but it took a while to get them released because they were like written around the time of the pandemic and whatnot. But with Examine, I'm also releasing some other stuff later on that is in the studio. Just need some vocal tracks. So
now, Johnny, like again, obviously, so we know people knew about Demise if you were from New York City. Obviously, it was small, very niche time thing. Did you know much about the band before Johnny hit you? Obviously, you probably knew through him, but did you really know about the band, the song wise, or you had to go fresh to learn these shits again?
Well, I was familiar with some of the stuff, but I still had to go over it. It's like, to tell you the truth, some of those recordings, picking out some of your bass lines was a little bit of a bitch.
I was saying with everything, but forget just the recording, the performance, everything. Like, I don't even remember what was those parts of that I don't think any of us played the same. But in there, we thought in certain like transition parts were like, we think where everybody's hitting it. Then when now looking back, if we singled out tracks, we would hear we weren't. But
we were playing our instruments for like a year when we did the first
exactly.
I had to ask him a lot of like, so what is going on over here? He's like, this is what's going on. I'm like, it only sounds like one note there. He's like, no, there's like 3 notes there, but you just can't do it.
Wild.
Yeah, because the thing is like there's some parts where the picking on the bass is very busy, but you can't hear it. And I'm like, is you just playing one note at a time? He's like, no, there's a lot of picking going on.
It's not because we didn't use mids. We didn't know what we were doing, so it's hard to tell what we were playing because everything got kind of buried in the mix. Yeah.
So like we were playing the same, but we weren't playing. We weren't even. I know for myself. I know I wasn't listening to the band. I was too busy worried about what I was playing. What I'm doing. Yeah. So I'm thinking like this, and then I think he's doing this, but I'm worried about doing this. When it's like, if you know the parts, you'll know when it's hit. You're like, okay, we're playing it right, not I'm playing it right or wrong. I didn't get that to fucking 6 albums in, like to really like it really to sink in, because you think you could do it that way. And you could get it on a record and it could sound cool. But then when you don't do it, when you could do it the other way and you'll see it has a whole different soul. That's the difference of giving a piece of music soul or not. When you do that.
I think the wild thing with Demise too is like for being as young as everybody was, it wasn't one of those sort of 4/4 basic hardcore fast blasty. Like it was technical for the age that you guys were, you know, and it was more than just basic hardcore. So to be able to say that, you know, 15, 16 years old and you're playing technical metal, you know, more so than hardcore, really, because hardcore, you know, at the time was a little bit faster, more sort of generic, you know, punk driven. I mean, your shit was metal, really, at the end of the day, you know. So
that was the goal. Like we loved the hardcore, but then the shit was, we want to go metal. Even on that NYU thing, we have a little clip of that shit. That shit's you know, we'll talk about that in a minute. But like, even then we were like, yo, fuck, you heard the rumors, some shit Richie says, yo, we got metal. Because back then it was taboo to say that. And we were like, fuck that. We want double bass. We want, you know, because we loved hardcore, but then we were like, man, full stacks. Damn, you know, see Slayer, you know, all the big dogs. You know, Cro-Mags, Leeway, full stacks. We're like, all right, Leeway, dude, now we could get full stack. All right, what's the difference between Leeway and, you know, and Best Wishes, Cro-Mags to everybody else? Well, 2 shredders. Okay, you got to be tight. What? Those are the metal guys. Okay, we got to be, you know, we already like metal, but now be technical. And at that time when we were writing music, the idea was, the early days was how fast you played. Like before us was the fastest band. That's what hardcore was. Oh, who played fast? That's why people love the Ramones and Bad Brains. Were like, wow, they're so fast.
DRI.
When we were coming up, it started being technical. Wow. So every riff in the later Demise shit, I made it a point, if I wrote it, to try to add 1,000 notes. I couldn't even play them. But I wrote the riffs and really play them.
And, you know, and you never played them again. It was just all about changes.
Because it was constantly
bringing that back.
Now again, I didn't learn my style of putting a song together till Matty Henderson. So back then we kind of went on a feel like, yo, this feels right. Okay, yo, put another riff. Okay, yo, this feels good into that. Yo, put that in there. Yo, I got all right, put it in there. Like, not thinking, okay, yo, we're working on a song and not a concerto.
Right.
You know, like
riff salad.
You know? That was us being green. But I was being technical, you know? We had a lot of, like, doing single string riffs that weren't really in our world. At that time, people weren't doing. I was attempting. Like he could play better than I could. I would write them, barely play them, and then he would be able to play them. But it would always be so crazy sounding because I was never tight. You know, I was able to write it but not play it. You know, and again, that was where my I had to catch up, and then whoever we had playing drums was playing whatever they were playing, and then we got whoever screaming, worried about how they sound. You know, instead of like. You know, but it still had the attitude. And that's why even like the not matching still sounded good because we were hitting the turnaround aggressive, like, you know, like just trying to like owning it. You know, when you own it, it kind of, you make mistakes, part of it. You know what I mean?
Part of the personality.
I think when we got to My Basement, though, I think we that's when the band started gelling more. We got Pettit on the guitar and
real players.
Yeah, we had a regular place to jam, and that's when we started cooking, I feel like.
Yeah, exactly. And then that's when we ate a real guitar, exactly. Another guitars. We always wanted a shredder, a solo guy. And then we definitely was at our best then. Again, doing a song like Zero the Hero. Yeah. Like, you know, picking a song like that would be like, yo, that's a long song, a lot of pieces. But, you know, we were able to play it, not really thinking about it. Like, it's a cool song, let's do it. Kind of.
Did you guys always do that cover, or is that something new? You always did it?
Well, we did it. We did it with Cheeky, never with Jeer, right?
No, it was definitely not Jeer. No, definitely not Jeer. This was in the basement in Sunset Park.
That's what we.
And it's all Johnny. Then that had to be from that era. Okay, then that was it. I remember Saab again. Was like, oh, that's dope. He's like Zero. I was like, because I used to say. Yeah, I used to say, yo, Slayer took that riff. You know, the gun. Right. Yeah. I was like, you know, all that, you know, Danzig, the Misfits, they all, you know, that whole Danzig shit is that, the the fact that your second rain and then same shit. That's why and it was dope, but that was cool. And right now, so you're gonna do the cover song. Is there any riffs flying out of some new shit that ain't the cover song? Like any new tracks you want to fuck around with? You got
throwing out a bunch last week. Yeah, we got a few riffs. You just got to piece it all together.
And
it should be, it's just like a better version of what we used to do.
Now, this is what I'm asking, because now there's a gap. You've played different. You also been playing mad years. Everybody's playing different. All right, you played re-recorded old songs with new energy. All right, now you're throwing new songs with whatever energy you have now. What's the style like? What's it towards? Because to be honest with you, I don't know what Demise sounded like. I could honestly say that. Like, it was so crazy. Mm-hmm. Like, who did it sound like? I'm curious. Like, as a fan or anybody who heard the say, who does this sound like? Who would you say it sounded like? I'm curious.
I think we sounded like a style Lex Hoarder on the law. To me, that's what I think.
Well, maybe that would have been like, that was kind of like we were trying to be them, but that was one thing I never knew when people used to say, like, what do you compare your sound like? Not to be like we were original. It's like, no, we were just kind of like so wild style, like those, like, we had everything, like old style songs, metal shit, but it was like so completely different, like, it was like weird.
We just did what we wanted to do.
That's why I'm curious. I'm curious now. You bringing up music right now to the table. It's 2024. It's you guys right now. You got riffs. What's the riffs like?
I don't think that it's going to be as busy as it used to be, but the groove is going to be there. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Yeah. I make it as busy as it used to be, but shit, that's freaking hard. Right?
Fuck that. But okay, you're right.
When we play the Dawn, it's like freaking gymnastics.
But now, like you're saying, okay, you're still going. Obviously, it was always kind of on a crossover tip. You're still leaning towards crossing over more, always towards a metallic side.
Probably more metallic now than we were before.
More metallic, but we're still with the groove,
Yeah, for sure.
Double bass. We got double bass in these new songs. Any ideas? All right, there you go.
Yeah, double bass is a must.
I like the confident head nod. Says a lot.
Yeah. And that's why we got him. When we first got him, Sal goes, he could play double bass. We're like, all right, he's in. We're just like, double bass.
And I got good at the double bass because of Sal, man. He was like an older brother to me, and he was like, he wanted to do like a death metal band, and he was like, yo, here's Botro, here's Napalm Dead. He's like, all the stuff I didn't listen to at the time, but I could play, He was like, yo, learn how to play this shit because we're starting a band. And, we jammed a little bit. We had Richie O'Brien sing. It was called Undertaker. We only had one song, but I got to jam all this heavy shit, and that's how I got into the double bass.
Freaking bolt thrower.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good name, fucking Undertaker.
Yeah, that's a good name, too.
I think
we had one song was called Shitting Out Nails. That was the only song we had.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, Jakey.
It sounded even better in Spanish.
It sounds way better in Spanish.
Cheeky, let me ask you this. All right. Yeah, Cheeky. All right. Right now, Beto got this new song. He got this song together. All right. They jam it. You got the skeleton of a track. What's the next song you're gonna write about? What's it gonna be about? What's the next thing off your tongue that you want to get off your chest?
I don't know. Probably my dog. Probably something about my dog, maybe.
You mean the thing you used to do with the peanut butter and the dog, or something else? It's getting late. Slow. Come on.
Yo, he said you're all
So yes. The next song is going to be hedonism. Yes.
You mean like Jamaica hedonism, or what are you talking about? No, because you know why I asked? Because original Demise lyrics were yours was kind of like, again, they were a lot of book driven kind of scenarios and themes. So I wasn't sure if where you would go now would be the same way, because so much time happened and we all changed as musicians. Like maybe you would write some personal shit and not, kind of story tell. Like I wasn't sure where you at.
It's not, it's like, again, technology doesn't give me the opportunity to read books anymore, right? Because I'm busy on my phone, so I don't give a fuck, right? So it's like I don't do a lot of that. I don't do a lot of, it's like whatever gets me some everyday shit here and there. So whatever still pisses me off. It could be political. It could be fucking just dumb shit. It could be just for the simple fact that everybody can fucking use a goddamn turn signal, right? It could be that too, right? But whatever. There's a lot of ideas.
That's good, because you know how it is. Some bands go in with a whole theme on like, kind of what they want to be representing, lyrically, and that's kind of how what you're doing now is basically what the band started as. Kind of was like, as far as in that direction, it was like we just wanted to be hard and groove and sound good. It was never like, we never really dissected lyrics. It was just like, if it sounds hard and had a cool name. Back then, we never really diced. We kind of left it like on whoever wrote it. And like, it's a cool chorus kind of shit. It sounds good. Like, all right, let's yell that shit, But now it's a different day and age. Some people if they got something to say, they might not want to say it or might want to say it. So I'm curious to the lay of the land. That's why I ask. You know what I mean? And because I wasn't sure if you were coming politically or just coming on random life shit.
I'm not going to throw any punches. If I need to go ahead and say something politically, I'm going to go ahead and say it.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, I'm going to call before the show about the goddamn fur trade, for that matter.
Yeah.
30 years ago, but, I still feel the same way.
Yeah, for sure. And now you got the 7-inch out. And let me add, but before anything, Steve Huey, shout out to Steve Huey. Tell me, you hit him up. Who hit him up? What made you say, let's get Steve Huey for this? This is a great idea to get him for this fucking, the comeback thing. Who hit him up and whose idea was it?
I hit him up for the prints for the shirts.
Yeah.
And Steve actually, he offered it to us, and we were more than happy because, Steve's like part of the band.
Yeah. Shit.
That's great.
Yeah, he did a great job.
Shout out to him. He's been doing a lot of really good, cool stuff. Again, an old head that's, coming back, never left, obviously, but it's good to see, a resurgence of older guys doing new things and still being at, top of the game. So shout out to him.
Yeah, the same thing. So, and to top everything off, but you got the EP, you got all that shit, you got more new music. Before anything, the Black and Blue. You motherfuckers am to play that. That's a good. The bill's crazy. Yeah. You guys seen the bill. You guys got a good spot. It's a fucking I think it's the perfect show to showcase, the band again. And how's that feel? How to do that? Because I know you guys gone to them, the last bunch of years, and now I know Cheeky. I know you didn't think maybe 2-3 years ago when hanging out at these that you'd be playing it.
Absolutely not. It's like I had the privilege of jumping on stage last year with Combust, right, to do a couple of Demise jams, and that was fucking amazing in its own right. And then just like I was like, because the Demise wasn't even in the picture last year at this point. It wasn't even in fruition. It wasn't even in talks. Maybe like a couple.
It's been around for a minute now already.
Yeah. But and then that's the whole thing. It's like when I jumped on with them, we weren't even talking then. And then after that, it was just like, all right. And then that's just steamrolled it in. It's like just to go ahead and play it again. When our last show in '92 was with AF and it was supposed to be their last show. And now we're back playing ours. It's
with AF again too. With AF. How crazy is that?
It's nuts.
He ended up playing with Roger. I ended up in Madball. Beto ended up everybody ended up in the next fucking bands. Like it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
No, and that's dope because the Black and Blue. When I saw that, because I actually, I knew, I think you guys had talked about maybe trying to jump on it before, but I had got the call from Valeni. Valeni's like, yo, I need to get these guys. So I said, oh, good, they're gonna get them on. That's why I passed on the number. I said, oh, perfect. And I said, perfect timing because you guys had a release. Yes. So I was like, oh, even better. You know what I mean? And right now, I think it's the perfect time for these. I don't know what you would call them, throwback or whatever, or resurgences, because a lot of the new kids are giving a lot of these classic bands that were around, even if we were around for a small time, they hit the radar, and kids are showing out for these. Like they want to see it, they want to support it, or get a taste of it.
Yeah.
Which outbursts with the, throughout the years I've had. That's why I had reissued those demos years ago, because I was like, who even wants this? And somebody was like, yo, you want to put it out? He gave me some little stuff. I said, all right. I just want it on vinyl.
Yeah.
The only reason I put it, I was like, who the fuck even wants this? I literally, we had Chilean, I was like, I'd rather have it out than not do nothing with it. And then when the bigger the band got, more people would look at the band also. And the same thing, 25 went, oh, well, who played with who? You know how that goes. People find out
in the 90s is retro now. The 80s is almost too old for this new generation. In the 90s and the 2000s, early 2000s is like, old school to this new generation, whereas the 80s shit is like, man, that's way too archaic.
It is, because even with us, I didn't go to 88.
Yeah.
What's
but
up?
The 90s stuff, it had its own identity as well, though. So now people are looking back on, oh shit, and that's another reason why we want to do the songs. These songs, they're great songs, and we knew that we had developed them to this level. So I always want to see them put out in this level, it's cool.
They definitely fit into the fabric of modern hardcore now, being that modern hardcore is very metal driven, almost death metal driven at this point.
Sure.
So these songs definitely fit into the fabric a lot more than the 80s style youth crew, fast stuff. So
how many songs you guys doing at the B&B? I want to know before everybody. The viewers want to know. Give it to us. Give us.
Well, I was throwing out a rework of tracks from the demo. So
don't even say it. Don't even
might go up to like 12. I might go to 12. 12.
Wow, good.
That's a lot.
Wow, that's a lot. Wow, that's
good.
You look.
That's what I'm going on.
Time out. That's a lot.
Yeah, Cheeky's like, wait a minute, what? Cheeky's good for about 6 of those.
Yeah, you got to look for the other tenors. There was 3 tenors, right? You're gonna have to look for those other 2.
I hope you got somebody to do backups.
I'm gonna get you to come up. I'm gonna get you to come up, do a couple.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, boom, good shit. No, on the real, I'm glad. Listen, it's a perfect comeback for you guys. It's dope. Everybody, again, let them know official right now where they could get the EP and when the next move is besides the Black and Blue. Everybody, they'll be playing the Black and Blue. A lot of people were hitting me up about it. And again, let them know where to get the 7-inch, where and when. Obviously, Generation Records, but where else and when?
We got Generation Records. We have Rev HQ as well. Revelation Records is dropping a set 100, I think, as well, and also Cortex. If anybody in Europe is jumping in,
absolutely.
I think it's available now.
Yeah,
it's ready. It's ready.
It's available now.
It's all ready to go.
And shout out to especially our European fan, because Europe has a lot of love for Demise. They were the people that wanted to put out that first reissue. Why I did it, because they were like, yo, people want to hear it, and it's perfect because shout out to Cortex. That's a staple. That's home base for European hardcore, and that's our second home. And also, it's a good place to plant a seed that, who knows, maybe one day, maybe you guys do a little road trip, little European road trip. You never know, right?
We're thinking about it.
That's that Baltic Sea tour we're talking about.
We're definitely thinking about it.
Yeah, definitely. Well, if everybody's paper, I know most of you guys' paperwork should be all right. I can't speak so much for that side of the room. The other side of the room.
I'm a citizen.
If you guys have passports, don't kid yourself. John's a sleeper just because he's light skinned. He's a fucking Puerto Rock. Don't let him sneak through. But good shit. Anything you want to tell Europe, because we have a lot of European listeners, and again, they love Demise. Anything you want to let them know, what to look out for, even more. Again, anything, shout them out, because they got a lot of love for you guys.
Yeah, so right now we've got on St. Patrick's Day at noon, we're going to do the Upside Down Locker podcast.
All right.
and do a little interview and a live performance that St. Patrick's Day at 12 o'clock before all you motherfucking Irish get drunk and all that. So you got a lot of time to go ahead and wake up. Go ahead and do that before the brunch and before the fucking corned beef and cabbage.
You know the deal.
I have March 30th. We're at Salty's Beach Bar doing 30 Years of Fury of 5.
I saw that. That's gonna be good.
With Combust and oh man, there's Freight Train, Black as Dawn. I'd love to remember all of them, but I don't. Apologies to everybody that I failed to remember. Discontent. Yeah. Also, so Caden may be doing double duties.
Double duties.
Double duties.
And then of course,
eating duty. I said you had a Black and Blue. You're doing 2 guitars.
That's the plan.
That's the plan.
That's the plan.
You got to tell Junior, listen, he got no choice in that one. You got to show up with 2 guitars for that shit.
Yeah.
You know,
full stacks.
Well, good shit, and everybody else.
Oh yeah, thank you for support, man. Thank you for being there.
You know what's up, and what's up? The Instagram is that where they could catch if anybody wants to contact the band. What's the best spot to hit the band up at the Demise Instagram or where? Or are you cheeky?
It's Demise NYHC at Demise NYHC. If you go to at Demise, you're just going to some guy named David Mize.
I'm gonna give a quick little Demise story, a little tidbit. Rest in peace to my pops. This is a good one that deserves to get the airplay. So the band's called Demise, right? So you hear Demise. So my father, rest in peace, was a fucking hick. You know, lived in America 100 years and knew 4 words of English. So one day he's talking to me. We're having a convo in Spanish, and he's telling me that he's telling his friend, you know, he's talking about me, about you know, we're talking about like traveling, and I'm doing something, and I hear. Again, he's telling me in Spanish, but I'm gonna say it in English. So he's basically saying, like, yeah, you know, my son, when he goes on the wrong with los mices and blah 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 blah, and because and the mices, and after like 10 minutes of like it's a serious talk, and I go, what mices? Like, Pops, what's the mices? And he goes, your group, los ratones, the rats, the mices, like mice. So he goes, mice, whatever that bullshit is, yo. The mices.
Great.
That's awesome. Same face. But listen, I'm glad to get you guys on. When you got after the, you know, when you do the next shows, send in clips. You know the deal, Cheeky. We play the highlights whenever you got, and when you got something new, Brandon, Vince, showing love. You know what's up. Whenever you got any new info on the new drops, send it to us. Everybody,
awesome.
Go hit them up. Demise at Demise. Kenneth Martinez, you know what's up. Hit them up. Go support. Go get you guys got t-shirts up yet? No t-shirts yet?
They're coming up. We're gonna have them we should have them at the Bowl, and we should have them at Salty's.
It's coming. Go check them out at Salty Balls. Go check them out. Is that the Salty Ball? Salty Fish or whatever it's called. Black and Blue Bowl. Everybody, Demise, yo. Love you guys. Good to see you. I'll hit you guys up. We're going to re-blast this up this week. But you know the deal. Go get some practice in, everybody. Yo, one love. We out of here. Good to see you guys. Everybody, go get
Hell yes.
Everybody, Demise in the building right there.
Yeah, good shit.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm glad they were able to tap in, and I'm glad they gave us time because I thought they were only going to give us like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but it was good to catch up with them. But go check them up. And before we go anywhere, I want to make sure everybody knows Smoke AD, the EP is done. I'm dropping a single the 19th. Hold on. Where's the dates? I got it down here. What we got in the notes? I can't fuck this up. All right, everybody. Smoke AD worldwide pre-order 3/19/2024. We're doing a lot of select color vinyls, limited vinyls. Trust me, you're going to want to go get this. We busted our ass on it. I'm very proud of what we did. Shout out to my team to make it happen. I wanted to make sure I had something for you guys to represent. I had to represent heavy music the right way. And again, Shout out to everybody who's been supporting me. And shout out to all the haters out there because of you motherfuckers, I got a label. Because of you motherfuckers, I got an EP right there. Because of you, I do this. So I do this for my people in heaven, and I do this for my people in the gutter. 3/19/2024 worldwide. Get the exclusive vinyl Smoke AD. 5 songs in total. You heard the one song. We're dropping a single the 19th, and I got 3 more bangers.
Yeah,
I'm gonna let it do its talking for itself, but go support the movement. Busky, before we out of here, let everybody know you're gonna be out of here. Let them know where they could catch you.
Yes, sir. I'm actually heading overseas on Monday. So anybody over in Europe, namely Germany, I'll be over there with Buried Alive. So check that out. We're hitting London, hitting Paris, and the Czech Republic too. So peep that. Otherwise, like Hoya said, definitely get on this Smoke AD drop. You're going to want this EP. You're going to want to hear the single. So stay tuned for March 19th.
Yeah, everybody definitely get up a Busky, bring him some freaking schnitzel and some good trees and tell him a Hoya Rock sent you. Brandon Vince, still the deal. Everybody, shout out to everybody who's been supporting the Hard Corner. Shout out to everybody who's tapping in now, who's going to tap in later, who's been supporting. Look, we're not going nowhere. We got a lot of things in store. Smoke AD. We got Buried Alive, Europe. We got heavy metal, punk rock, everything. Listen, the Hard Corner, support the movement. CasaDeRock.com. We love you, everybody. We do this for you. We out here. The Hard Corner. Stay tuned.
Word up. Peace.
Peace.